It's Tuesday, November 21. In the headlines, US $30 million to fund STEM schools. In business news, NCB Financial Group commits to future dividend payments in time for Christmas. Regionally, Barbados steps closer to producing pharmaceuticals. Internationally, censored but not silenced. International cultural figures speak out against war on Gaza. And in sports, youngsters benefit from boxing training. And news on cricket. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. More than 100,000 students are set to benefit from the planned science, technology, engineering and mathematics schools, STEM schools, to be constructed across the island. The first will be built in St. Anne. On Monday, a loan agreement valued at US $30 million was agreed upon by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service and the World Bank for the Jamaica Education Project, GEP. The GEP, under the purview of the Ministry of Education and Youth, aims to improve the teaching and learning conditions in secondary education and the use of information for decision-making in the sector. During the ceremony on Monday, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark said the moves being made with STEM in focus is critical on the development of the human capital. Country Director for Caribbean Countries in the World Bank, Lilia Baronchik, said the JEP project will support transformative changes in Jamaica's education system. The director says the project is expected to benefit 6,000 secondary teachers who will develop better teaching practices. She says approximately 150,000 secondary students directly and indirectly will benefit, of which 75,000 will be girls. Meanwhile, Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams said the JEP loan agreement between the government and the World Bank signifies a shared vision for the future of education and youth development in Jamaica. Dozens of young Jamaicans were given the keys and documents to their own homes recently at the combined handover ceremony for Hummingbird Meadows Phases 1 and 2 and Money Musk Country Estate Phase 2 in Clarendon. Prime Minister Andrew Holness led the handover ceremony.
The majority of the beneficiaries are female. For Hummingbird, it's 53%. Yes. More than half of the selectees for Hummingbird earn between the minimum wage and $42,000 per week.
The Prime Minister noted that 81% of the new mortgage holders for Money Musk were aged between 25 and 40.
For Money Musk, we are doing 351 housing solutions in Phase 2. And 69% of the beneficiaries are female. %57% of the selectees earn between minimum wage and $30,000 per week. You know what that means? That everyone in Money Musk pays 0% on their mortgage. 0.
He acknowledged the affordability and accessibility of both projects.
So you can understand why I have given the NHD this directive to build more house quickly and affordably. Because the demand for it is huge. We estimate that we have about 150,000 housing solutions in deficit. That's huge.
Upon completion, Hummingbird Meadows will offer 556 housing solutions through 2 development phases. Monimusk Country Estate Phase 2 will provide an additional 351 housing solutions, totaling 907 units across both projects. The Indian High Commission hosted a blood drive at the National Chest Hospital, Barbican Road, Kingston recently. Some 42 donors were able to give blood at the facility. Did you know that donating blood improves your overall cardiovascular health? Melvin Pennant has more in this Living Healthy report.
For many years, the Indian government has been a partner of significant importance to the Jamaican people. The government has helped to develop Jamaica's education and technology sectors, with special attention paid to the island's healthcare system. We caught up with a team from the Indian High Commission at the National Chest Hospital during one of their many healthcare outreach services.
As you know, we have been doing a medical camp for several times now. In fact, to be very precise, it's 32 times in the last 3 years. And this is the month of November. We celebrate this month or so later. This month, our Constitution Day, that is on 26th of November. It is an add-on to the activities that we are already doing, which is a medical camp or health fair, which we hold free of cost for the communities of Jamaica.
The Arava blood drive was initially for our breast cancer awareness month, which was in October. So that's where it all started. How it was conceived was with our first initiative, which was 2 weeks ago. It did very well. We had a good amount of people that came out. We saved 102 lives with that event. The Indian High Commission recognized it and decided to partner with us for this event. And that's how it started. Yeah.
With just over a month to go before the festive season, the Commissioner also had this to say.
As November nears and as the festive season nears, which is Christmas time, you know that there are several unfortunate incidents take place on the highways, and we thought that it is an opportune time for us to come out and support by this blood donation drive and involving our communities again, of course, not only Indian community, but also Jamaicans, whoever can come and donate. We just provide this platform for everyone to come, and the response has been tremendous till today.
Donors also chimed in as to why they support the initiative.
I'm here just to give blood to a family member of mine in my community because of an accident, and they said that he need some blood. So I'm just here to donate the blood to that child because it's the least I can do for people in need.
And just a lot of person donated blood, me and Indian High Commissioner and Indian High Commission staff, anyone is blood donate. I'm just free donate. I'm just good feeling. I'm just happy.
It's helping to save lives. Simply.
And how long have you been supporting initiatives like this?
I've been a donor for a number of years.
Yeah. With this particular institution or others?
No, not with this particular institution, just generally. So, you know, if friends or family are in need, just donating to the bank for anybody.
So you're a serial donator.
Serial donator.
Anything that can help humanity, I'm a sucker for that. And so, yes, the High Commissioner of India, His Excellency Masakwi, requested me, and I said, absolutely, I would be delighted to do so.
Okay. Corporate Jamaica was not to be left out, as they deemed the initiative significant enough to garner their support.
Home Choice, I always like to partner with different activities that involve healthy living, as a lot of our products are more on the healthier side, right? And we know that giving blood is very important, you know, for the donors as well as for the person who is actually giving the blood. It's more beneficial for them because when you give out the blood, then you reproduce new blood, so that's good for the body, and it saves 1 pint of blood, saves 3 lives. So we always want to be involved in activities like that.
Reporting for PBCJ, I am Melvin Pennant.
Time now for the business report with Danita Rodney.
The NCB Financial Group is committing to future dividend payments. This comes as the company announced on Friday that come December it will make its first dividend payout to shareholders after 2.5 years. At the end of a board meeting on Friday, the NCB Financial Group Limited announced that its board approved an interim dividend payment of 50 cents per ordinary stock unit, which is payable on December 18 for stockholders on record as of December 4 this year. Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Monday, November 18, the US dollar sold for an average of $156.22. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $113.96. The pound sterling traded for $193.30, and the euro sold for $170.73. In JSE trading, the JSE index declined by over 2,209 points. The junior market index declined by over 21 points. The combined market index declined by over 2,256 points, and the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by over 1,911 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 105 stocks, of which 29 advanced, 59 declined, and 17 traded firm. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, AS Bryden and Sons Holdings Limited, and Berger Paints Jamaica Limited. Stocks declined for Access Financial Services Limited, AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited, and Burrito Investments Limited. Trading firm were Cargo Handlers Limited, Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited, and Caribbean Producers Jamaica Limited. The overall volume leaders were Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with over 2 million units, Trans Jamaican Highway Limited with over 1 million units, and One Grade Studio Company Limited with over 600,000 units. In regional stocks, in Trinidad and Tobago, Calypso Macro Index Fund posted a volume of 24 shares. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, First Caribbean International Bank was the sole security trading over 1,000 shares. In regional business, businesses are being urged to employ external consultants to assist in developing and implementing an artificial intelligence strategy. Sunil Lala has more.
We're in the process of automating all of our accounts payable and accounts receivable. It's a simple bot. You train it how to match debits and credits, and it does it for you.
CEO of a Barbadian conglomerate, Goddard Enterprises, Anthony Ali, admitted that most Caribbean companies do not have the capability to explore or develop artificial intelligence on their own. Speaking at a recent Disruptive Leadership Conference, he said his organization has employed external consultants to assist in the process to automate its accounts records. A former general manager at locally owned SM Jalil, Ali said he believes it is critical for companies to get outside help.
There are consultants in the Caribbean that are available to do that. Their job is to help you. Your job is to figure out what and how you can use it. Where can you use it to exploit an opportunity in the market? Where can you use it to reduce cost? Where can you reduce it to drive efficiency?
And CEO of JMMB, Trisha Kisoon, encouraged more mature employees to embrace the change in using AI.
We have in our hands the capability to enhance our interaction. We have the ability to be strategic in our conversations, be strategic around solutions, and that is where we need comfort.
She said it could even change the way companies manage their calls, assisting in creating a whole new dynamic.
And a lot of us manage pipelines, sales pipelines. Think about the volume of calls now you're going to be able to do and get increasing your ability to turn over your sales.
But Senior Corporate Director of Sandals Corporate University, Dr. Luz Longsworth, believes it's simply about changing the culture and communicating the technology to get people to accept it.
Changing from a fax machine where you really just needed one person to buy into your vision and then let everybody see, but then to another one where everybody gets a chance to be a part of this amazing thing.
Mr. Ali said several countries are contemplating regulating these AI tools to reduce or negate its misuse, and said the Caribbean must follow suit.
And so hopefully, between the AI producers like ChatGPT-4, the IT leaders within Silicon Valley and elsewhere, and our governments, we find the right ways to restrict its use and monitor it.
All the speakers agree that AI has the ability to unlock businesses, but there must be guardrails for its use. The two-day Disruptive Leadership Conference by Go Blue Consulting was held at the Hilton Hotel and Conference Center.
In international business, Wall Street's three major indexes closed higher, with Nasdaq's 1% rally leading the charge.
Wall Street's main indexes closed up on Monday, with shares of Microsoft hitting a record high after the tech giant hired ousted OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and other top artificial intelligence executives. The Dow gained more than 0.5%, the S&P 500 added 0.75%, and the Nasdaq gained more than 1.1%. Altman, who also co-founded OpenAI, creator of ChatGPT, was set to join Microsoft after being fired Friday by the OpenAI board. Also on Tuesday, the Federal Reserve is expected to issue minutes of its November meeting, which may provide clues on the direction of U.S. interest rates. Among other movers, shares of Bristol-Myers Squibb fell nearly 4%, a day after Germany's Bayer stopped a late-stage trial testing a new anti-clotting drug, hurting investor confidence in all firms developing a similar class of drugs. And Boeing shares rose more than 4.5% after Deutsche Bank upgraded the aerospace company to buy from hold and raised its price target to $270 from $204.
In market data for oil fell on Tuesday, reversing steep gains made in the past two sessions as investors turned cautious ahead of a meeting of OPEC Plus this Sunday, when the producer group may discuss deepening supply cuts due to slowing global growth. Brent crude futures fell 35 cents to $81.97 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures dropped by 36 cents to $77.47. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
In regional news, Barbados is now stepping closer to realizing its dream of locally producing pharmaceuticals. The government on Monday received a white book which outlines the way forward. Sharika Griffith has the details.
In a move that's expected to stimulate economic activity and create jobs, the island last year signed an historic communique with Guyana and Rwanda on the development and production of pharmaceuticals for global public health.
In those early discussions, it was recognized that if Barbados and Guyana were to get involved in the manufacturing of pharmaceuticals to meet the needs of the populations of the two regions, we would have to be compliant with the requirements of the international organizations that have responsibility for overseeing the food and drug regulatory authorities across the globe. The need for a document, commonly referred to as a white book, was identified.
Following extensive research by Biopharma Excellence, experts in biotech science and product development, that white book has now been presented to the government for cabinet's approval.
This white book presents for each country a gap analysis of what must be done to create the enabling environment for regulation in the pharmaceutical industry. Our white book delineates Barbados' strategic pathway toward the establishment of a robust regulatory agency for pharmaceutical products. This body of work is critical in our pursuit of pharmaceutical self-reliance and enhancing public health standards within our nation.
Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley has given the assurance that the National Regulatory Agency will be independent.
It is critical that there be absolute commitment to precision, independence, excellence, and going only where the science takes you, if we are to be faithful to the task that we have embarked upon here today. As head of government, therefore, I give you that assurance, but I go further. The National Regulatory Agency, when established, will have the same independence as central bank and the same independence that we hope to imbue in the National Statistics and Big Data Analytics Authority that is going to be critical also for a functioning democracy in a small island developing state such as ours.
And the Prime Minister notes extensive legislative work will also be required.
I'm told that it is in excess of 30 pieces of legislation that will be required. But those numbers no longer daunt us. Because CPC, we did what? 13 or 14 in the first 6 months of government in order to adjust to the OECD's requirements for the international business sector. And AG, I have every confidence that you're having presided over that you will be in a position to land us safely with the regulatory framework that is critical for us to go to the next step.
Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, has not ruled out the Venezuela-Guyana issue having a negative effect on TNT's Dragon gas deal, but hopes it doesn't reach to that point. More in this report.
Last week, Venezuela said it will go ahead with a referendum in December over its rights to a potentially oil-rich territory that is the subject of a border dispute with Guyana. Speaking to reporters on Monday, Dr. Rowley said he is confident the issue will be treated with dialogue, noting that CARICOM remains a zone of peace, which is the best position for all. Both countries, he said, are a part of TNT's investments and agreements, and he is certain the government of Venezuela respects the government of TNT, as does the government of Guyana.
The last thing we want is for us not to be in a period of peace and a zone of peace. I don't have a crystal ball, but things, especially where diplomatic matters are concerned and that nature, I have no forecast to make as to how it will go. But I could tell you what I would not like to see. I would not like to see the relationship between Venezuela and Guyana deteriorate to a point where consequent actions would negatively damage all of us.
Guyana is leading discussions on the establishment of a US $25 million hydroponics facility for the Caribbean region, and in recognizing the importance of the many challenges faced, Saudi Arabia has set aside a sum of $2.5 billion for the development of the region. This was announced on Saturday by President Irfan Ali.
That the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia understands fully the value of CARICOM as an important development and strategic partner in addressing the many challenges we face as a world: energy, food, climate, culture, and art. And the summit has led to a series of proposed action that will see the deepening of our relationship as CARICOM. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia made available not only all their technical and ministerial resources, but the private sector resources and financing. Setting aside $2.5 billion for the development of the region, approving a number of projects for different countries. Beyond infrastructure, beyond food and energy, there were deep discussions on how we strengthen our cultural exchange, how we support the development of tourism, how we get the private sector to invest in the region and here in Guyana. And I'm confident that in the coming weeks, we will see tremendous energy in relation to this new strategic relationship. My focus is on the results. And I believe that this is the time, not only for Guyana, but for CARICOM, to find non-traditional partners in pursuit of our development goals.
In international news, from literature to art and politics, events around the world are being cancelled or postponed in the wake of the war in Gaza. Many influential cultural figures say they are facing discipline or their events shut down for their public support of Palestinians. Some of the artists and authors say, although they were cancelled, they won't be silenced. Al Jazeera's Laura Khan reports.
This is the work of Anais Duplan,
an Afrofuturist artist known for speaking out on liberation struggles. But when he strayed from African politics and criticised the war in Gaza on social media, Museum Folkwang in Germany cancelled his exhibition. It hasn't immediately responded to a request for comment.
It was bizarre to us to encounter the museum almost wanting to have your cake and eat it too, something like this, like to want to hire people for their radical politics in one area, i.e. Afrofuturism, but then to not really want that to be expressed in any other ways.
From the MTV Music Awards to Pal Music UK and Fashion Trust Arabia, globally events are being cancelled in the wake of the war in Gaza. Many say out of respect, but some say they're being silenced. Last week, London's Lisson Gallery postponed Chinese artist Ai Weiwei's exhibition. He tells Al Jazeera it's because he was vocal about the war in Gaza, saying, "Today's politics seems to be about everyone avoiding contribution and evading responsibility. The world we inhabit resembles a medieval era." The Frankfurt Book Fair postponed an awards ceremony for Palestinian author Adonias Shibley's book, Minor Detail. The organiser Litprom says this was due to the war started by Hamas, under which millions of people in Israel and Palestine are suffering. And Jewish-American author Nathan Thrall saw multiple events in the UK and the US cancelled for his book tour of A Day in the Life of Abd Salama.
Over and over and over again, we have these wars in Gaza. And everybody, when we have these wars, calls for a restoration of calm. What is the calm that everyone is calling for us to restore? That's the reality that is depicted in my book that shows this is not a situation of calm when there's not a war in Gaza.
In sports, youngsters from Denham Town, Portmore and Montego Bay have been benefiting from boxing training sponsored by the U.S. Embassy. The training is being done in partnership with USA-based Humpty Dumpty Institute, HDI, who partnered with Fight for Peace and the Jamaica Boxing Association, JBA. The acting public affairs officer at the U.S. Embassy, Gabriel Hurst, says our overall training objective is the development of a more safe, strong and secure Jamaica. I am really looking forward to seeing the positive impact that it's gonna have. End quote.
I've only been here for 3 weeks and I'm just really energized by all of the enthusiasm that's in the room, and I'm really looking forward to the positive results that this program is going to have. I think that the program, the support that we have toward the program is a clear example of our steadfast support to Jamaica's bright future.
World-renowned boxer Lennox Blackmore of the HDI decided to bring the program to Jamaica because of the country's reputation in sports. Stephen Bomber Jones, president of the JBA, says the program is in line with what they have been pushing in terms of expanding the footprints of the sport.
From our perspective, we always believe that Sport for Development initiative, where we use boxing as a platform for community cohesion, mentorship, and counseling, will always carry a huge impact. So that being said, the fact that we have boxers here, coaches here, Tibor and Lennox, we have Ronica and Jenna, here representing Gleason's Gym, the legendary Gleason's Gym. I mean, that's a value that cannot be quantified.
The training began on November 14 and ended on the 19th. This boxing program is the third to be implemented by HDI. The first one was in the Dominican Republic in 2022. And the second one was the female boxers in Palestinian territories in February of this year. They were all done with the support of the U.S. Embassy. The Cricket World Cup says 1.25 million spectators turned out to support the 6.5-week event, which ended on Sunday. Australia took home the cup after beating India by 6 wickets for its 6th title. The India attendance figures surpassed the earlier marks of the 2015 World Cup held in Australia and New Zealand and the 2019 edition in England and Wales. It was the 13th edition of the Cricket World Cup, which was first held in 1975. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thanks for watching.